Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Now today's video I'm going to be doing a comparison of the Naked 2 and the Makeup Revolution palette. Now these palettes look exactly the same. The Makeup Revolution brand have definitely made it as a dupe, as they have with a lot of high-end makeup. But yeah, basically what I've done is I've used just one eyeshadow palette on one eye and just the other on this eye, so that you can really compare and see how different they look. Obviously I haven't used every shade in the palette, but I used quite a few. So if you'd like to see this video, then please keep on watching. On this eye here, which is the right eye, but probably the left for you, I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution palette, and I'm going to be taking the fifth colour in. They don't have shade names, so I'm just going to go by numbers, I'm afraid. But this shade is really nice as a transition shade in the crease. I've applied a little bit too much, but that's fine because you can always go in with a big fluffy brush and blend away that shade and slowly deepening up the crease so that I get the colour that I want it to be. I've just cleaned off my brush and now I'm using the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette and using the shade T. The Urban Decay eyeshadow is slightly easier to blend, but it's not making much of a difference. It just looks slightly more flawless in its application. Although the Makeup Revolution eyeshadow is actually more pigmented. So now for the Makeup Revolution side, I'm taking the second darkest shade and deepening up the crease with that colour. It's just a slightly deeper purple than the one we've previously just used. Now I'm just taking a clean fluffy brush and tidying up the edges. Now I'm just taking a little bit of that first shade we used and helping that blend out the edges. So now back onto the Urban Decay, I am taking the colour Busted and doing exactly what I did on the other eye and just deepening up that crease to make it slightly darker. And then taking a big fluffy brush to clean up the edges. Now taking a bit of tease and just using that to help blend out the shades. Now using the Makeup Revolution palette, I'm taking a mixture of the golden shade and the silvery shimmery shade and placing that on my eyelid. Using my finger because that's how I find any eyeshadows is the most pigmented. And then again just taking that same brush to blend out the edges. So for the Urban Decay, I am taking a bit of Chopper and YDK and mixing them together and then placing that on the eyelid. The shimmery shades from the Makeup Revolution palette are actually slightly more pigmented and they show up more in the eye, so I definitely would prefer those out of that palette. So now applying some mascara, I'm using the L'Oreal False Lash Sculpt mascara. This is definitely my favourite mascara at the moment. It's so separating on your lashes and it lengthens and thickens them a heck of a lot too. So back onto the Makeup Revolution, I am taking the first shade that I used as a lower lash line shade. I'm also going to slightly connect it up to the eyeshadow on the upper eyelid. I'm taking a tiny bit of that second darkest shade and applying that to the outer corner of the eye and bringing that up onto the upper eyelid. And then again blending that out with a fluffy brush. Using the shade Tease and then going into the shade Busted. Then just adding some mascara to the lower lashes. So now I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup. I've done already like my foundation and stuff like that. I've just kind of used the normal products. I'll list them all down below if you want to know what they are. But right now I'm using the MUA bronzer in the shade 1. Next I'm using a blush and this is the Rimmel Lasting Finish Soft Colour Blush in the shade 020 Pink Rose. And this is a really nice kind of flush of pink to apply to the cheeks. Now for highlighter, I'm using the highlight shade out of the Smashbox Shape Matters palette. This is absolutely beautiful. A highlight. Obviously this is from a palette, so quite hard to get your hands on, but a dupe would definitely be the Makeup Revolution eyeshadow in Mono Base. I always use the eyeshadow as a highlighter and I've used it on my channel quite a lot as well. So I'm just applying that to the cheekbones, the bridge of the nose and the tip of the nose and the cupid's bow, and I'm also going to apply a little bit to the inner corner. Now for lips, I'm applying the NYX lip liner in the shade Lace Detail. Is the finished eye makeup. As you can see, the eyes look incredibly similar, pretty much identical. The palettes are very, very similar. The only difference I would say is that in the Urban Decay palettes, the shimmery eyeshadows have a little bit of glitter fallout, which is a bit annoying, but it does kind of dust off easily with a brush. And also the Makeup Revolution glittery eyeshadows are slightly more pigmented. When you apply them and then I went to blend them in kind of thing to diffuse them into the other shades, the Urban Decay one did kind of just, it really lost pigment, the shimmery shades. So I would actually say that the Makeup Revolution palette is better, although I did find that the Urban Decay eyeshadows were slightly more creamy and therefore did blend out easier. So it depends really on your budget. If you can easily go out and spend £38 on a makeup palette, then go ahead and do it because it's an amazing palette. But if you're on a budget and you don't want to spend that much on an eyeshadow palette, which is totally understandable, then go for the Makeup Revolution one because it's only £4. So if I'm honest, you can't really go wrong. I personally love how this eye makeup turned out. I didn't include the face because I didn't want this video to get too long. I have done 2 of these videos in the past of the Naked 2 and the Naked Smoky. The Smoky palette, both from Urban Decay. So I'll link them down below if you'd like to go and check them out. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up. Comment any other videos you'd like me to do in the future and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!